have you been working on this piece? Sorry, how long?
Over half a year, I think.
Half a year, okay. What can you tell us about this piece in terms of the character that you're trying to convey? I have some sense from the way that you were playing, but if you had to verbalize in words.
So first it's like sweet and like musical, and then the bolero part where it gets fast and like minor tone, and then there's the ricochet, and then there's another dolce part, and then it's like kind of sweet and then deep, kind of sad tone.
Okay. So in this, let's focus on this bolero part. So what does a bolero mean to you? And you said something about it has minor, there's some ricochet, but in terms of the characters that you're trying to convey to us.
Probably like the
Does the bolero feel like it should be like you're filling the space, or does it feel like it should be very hidden? Is it something very proud, or is it kind of sensitive, or strong? I completely agree. So the impression that I had when hearing you play is everything is in perfect order. You have all the technique that you need, but now we need to add character through phrasing, but also through a couple of different techniques. So let's focus on this bolero section. So your bow hold is great. You look like you have a lot of efficiency and no tension, but now we need to get some extra sort of pepper in there. So let's see, let's skip to that. This last 16th, 32nd note, you really have to spit out. This is like, you have to really project. This is obviously, it's not a huge space, but sometimes because of the resonance, we actually lose a lot of the small notes. So think of those as being even more important than the longer ones. Can you try one more time, just before you come in? Oh, sorry. Maybe go from this run here. This D you really have to spit out. Good. Can you take your hand away from your bow and just show me? Yes. Okay. So you have flexibility with your fingers. Use that same flexibility when you have your bow stroke. This. Yeah. Try it one more time. Good. So try using a little bit less bow. Use more bow on the smaller notes. Now do it all in one motion. Good. You also have to have the same articulation on the up bow. Try it like half tempo. Good. Okay. Try it in the context. Good. Okay. So now we have to use it as like a crescendo to the next thing. Instead of. Good. Now you also have to sing through these things here. Think about bow distribution. I'm focusing on very technical things right now, and we'll do some emotional things in a second. But even though it's a shorter note, it has to have more bow to it. Good. One more time. which of these bars is more important? Or
second one.
I totally agree. So if you say something and you say it twice the same way, usually the second time is more emphatic, right? So I totally agree. Dum ba ba bum bum pa da dum ba dum. Really crescendo through that. It's really important in this hall because it's very, very live. You sort of, in slow motion, you have to release the bow a little bit. Instead of. Yes, exactly. One more time. Great, fantastic. Okay, so keep this flexibility that you're having with your fingers to really articulate. Now I want to skip to a couple of these beautiful long lines where I think you can do even more. Can you go from... So I think, unfortunately, you're getting stuck with your technical elements here instead of just singing through. So you're getting stuck a little bit at the frog. So basically, we want to hear a 4-bar phrase. Right now, we're only hearing sort of just downbeat, downbeat. And try really thinking of a crescendo right to this note. I want you to go so far beyond what you think is tasteful, just so that we get a sense of what your maximum expression could be. That's still extremely tasteful. Let's really go to that bar. So the reason I'm trying to get you to expand this sense of crescendo is sometimes these phrases feel a little plain the entire time. We don't get an overarching sense. Can we play with you? Let's go even before. Let's go from F. This entire phrase feels a little bit of the same character. If you want to change characters and change expression, how would you do that technically?
Like maybe use lighter bow on some parts.
Lighter bow, sure. What about the amount of bow?
Like on the long notes, can you use like more bow? And then maybe like produce more sound.
Yes,
right?
Totally. Also, think of this as you have to crescendo through the long notes. If you just stay the same amount, then it feels like everything is stuck a little bit. So, crescendo. Crescendo. Good, yes. So sometimes we're getting a little bit of a very quick crescendo, but the overall impression is good. Okay, so we have the right hand, we have the amount of bow and the pressure. What about left hand? How do you show a phrase with your left hand?
Like more vibrato.
Could be more. How do you change the types of vibrato?
Like do a lot on some part, and then like maybe if it's like double stop or a chord, then you can like kind of wiggle your hand a lot.
Sure, yeah, all these are right answers. I would encourage you, as you're considering how to develop your vibrato, think of it in a much longer sense. I think often as performers, we get into this mindset of like, oh, this detail and this note has to be perfect, and we forget that actually our sense of time runs much quicker on stage. We know exactly what's about to come, but the audience, they don't have that experience yet. So we have to kind of take a step back and place our ears at the back of the hall. So think of vibrato over 8 seconds. You can pick up the tempo, you can pick up the oscillations, you can make it wider, but think of this as like you just have to take a step back and you have to place yourself in the back of the hall. Crescendo. Sorry, keep going. Good. So there, sorry. You're using the same amount of bow for one beat as opposed to the next 3 beats. Or sorry, next 2 beats. So we're getting basically 2 accents. So think of this as if this is more bow. Basically. Can you try this? Now try also using bow pressure. Good. So I like that we're getting crescendos through, but sometimes we get this surge in the middle of the bow. So try not to use all of that bow. Good, excellent. And then here, we have the same phrase as before, right? Are you going to play it the exact same way, or do you think it should be different?
Should probably be different.
I totally agree. How would you play it differently?
Maybe I can play like with like louder and like more bow pressure.
It could be, sure. There's no wrong answer. I want to hear a huge difference though from the first time to this time. Anytime you say something for a second time or a third time, it has to be different. Let's go one more time from F. Try making that like an extra 10 times. We're getting just a tiny amount of difference in this phrase. Also, in this kind of music, if you want to seem like you're wearing your heart on your sleeve, often it's the little notes that if you add extra expression to, it seems like you have even more passion. So especially this, all the 16ths and the 8th notes are more important than the long notes. So maybe here, in addition to just being more, make those notes even more important. One more time from that. First time. caught one note that was nice and extra expressive. Try just you here and really show all of these notes. Vibrate the beat. Good. Try here, and all of these little notes have to have vibrato. Good. Excellent. Excellent. So now you still have to the C. Excellent. So I want to take an extra step beyond. So this is all about showing a larger phrase, a longer phrase. This should be super legato, right? So obviously the right hand we have to have super legato. But what about legato vibrato? Do you know how to do? I only got one note. So when I'm talking about legato vibrato, I'm thinking basically you keep your hand oscillating the entire time. So it's, you have to put the next note down. So just keep your hand moving. But yeah, you stopped. So I don't know if you realize this, but because you're focusing everything on the left hand, all of a sudden your right hand is actually much more, it has an even better line to it. So sometimes having vibrato and focusing attention on the wrong places solves all the problems of the right hand, and vice versa. Let's try one more time, just right here, and give us the most over-the-top expressive version that you can. Even more. Awesome. So each time it's getting even more and even more. If you want to show that you have lots and lots of emotion, obviously it's about these component parts, but what about dynamic-wise? What do we do?
Like maybe as going up, I can crescendo more.
Yeah, that sounds great. And then sometimes if you get a little cautious, then maybe you have to pull back a little bit, right? Since you go up to a nice harmonic. Really pull back. Awesome. I love that pullback. Okay, now you have to give yourself a little bit more room and go crescendo all the way to right there. Good. Keep practicing that. You'll get a sense of how to make it feel like you have this like ebb and flow of emotion. Let's try one more time from F to get this section perfect. See, you're trying to put all the components together. So just as you practice this, keep remembering constant legato vibrato, and also don't surge too much with the bow, especially on the up bow. Sometimes we get a different bow speed, and therefore we get this surge of crescendo. Good, okay, let's go back to the very beginning. I want to work on some of the characters of this opening one more time. Let's do the first few chords, and then this recitativo here, I want it to be even more spooky.
Okay.
How do you make this even more terrifying for us?
I can like kind of swell and then on the second part I decrescendo.
Sure, great. Yeah, show us.
Do I start from there?
Actually, I'm sorry, yes, let's go from, maybe from A, if that's okay. Amazing. I love the third and the fourth were really, really exquisite. Now the first two, I think you can inflect even better. Can you just play the first forte chords? Oh, sorry. So that's obviously, that sounds like trumpet, like ta-da, right? So this should probably be a little bit more. Right, and then you can go again. Those two feel a little too similar to me. So here, on top of just having the notes that we have printed, this is an instance where we have to use the silence to like add extra expression. So hold the character and think of spreading the character until the next piano chords. You know, so it's like it's even as you finish the note, there's still this sense of we're keeping the tension. I think everything you do is so tasteful and so beautiful. Now is the opportunity. You have to expand the frame 10 times. We want to feel everything that you're feeling inside. I think you're maybe afraid of perhaps making a bad sound or making a mistake, but honestly, people come to performances not to hear perfection, but because they want to hear something, you know, uniquely you. So give us the fullest version of what you can communicate. So this next section that we've gotten to, how would you describe the character that you want to convey?
It's like really like sweet and kind of delicate.
Sweet and delicate? Okay, I could hear that. But sometimes there's a sense of longing to it, right? I'm thinking especially this chord right here. That harmony from the piano feels like it's yearning for something, right? So sweet and delicate, absolutely, but then give us a little bit of urgency here. It's very difficult, but also on a down bow, you still do have to crescendo through it. We want to get the sense that you are the singer who has like an infinite breath that you can convey. So say bow. Oh, sorry, the first one from this adagio. Oops, no. Is that the right one? Yes. One more time. I still think we can hear even more difference between these phrases, right? Okay, sweet and delicate, how are we going to change this one?
Maybe it's like more bold.
More bold, okay. How do you execute that?
Like play with like more strong bow.
Sure, okay. It could be, so more bow sort of density, right? So if this is therefore going to be sweet, maybe you just skate a little bit. In here, you can start to lean in a little bit. You know, think of like using your fingers to really grab into the string. And maybe give us a little bit of lean on that G. And that little tail right there, I think that can and should be some of the most expressive music you play. Can you give us a little bit of vibrato? One more time. Try slowing it down just a little bit. It's almost more important to play the beat, right? Great. Try this whole section from the top. As you play all these things, everything is so perfectly in order. I think that the biggest next step for you is just to make these characters even more vivid. Just have the faith that if you do more, it's not going to come back to bite you. I think everyone will be moved even more by it. So I want to end by just focusing on the very first chords. So you have a very excellent tone, but we're not hearing the notes that we need to hear. So can you just play some of these chords? Good, and the next ones? Good, so you're already doing a good amount of kind of rolling back. Here, sorry, we want to hear this G sharp a lot. And so it's really, as you're doing these chords, in slow motion, you're going to the top and then quickly rolling back, so essentially. One more time. Good. And then the first one, really make sure that you have to, with these chords, you have to press your pinky down quite a bit, actually. Play the first chord and don't leave it until you have the perfect. first and then the 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure that the 1 is really perfectly with that 5th. Yes, so with 5ths, sometimes it's really difficult. Often, if you feel like you're getting stuck in between the strings, try pulling one of the strings over, usually the lower string with the 1. So do you see how I'm like kind of like gripping the string and then I pull it towards the A? Yes. Play just the 5th. Is that in tune?
Yeah.
One more time. Almost. Make sure you're pulling the D over. Sorry. Do you see what I'm doing? So basically, it's like I'm pulling the string. So as you're building these chords, make sure that the 5th is perfect, and then. This one you just have to work on for intonation, but basically the stroke is really give us a very, very quick bow and roll it back. Yes, yes. Excellent. Do the first set. Make sure to do it also for those, so that we really get the. You're getting away with it because you have good technique, but you can have even more shape to it if you really roll back. Like really come back with the bow. Great. Next ones. The last few, I think you're losing a little bit of control here. Keep the same flexibility with your fingers. So, remind me, how do you, if you want to communicate something, what are the various variables that we have available to us to change colors?
Like,
you said many of them already. You said something about bow pressure, right? And there's also bow speed. And then there's another one that we have available to us.
like contact point.
Yes, contact point, totally. And then the left hand, what do we do for expression?
Like more vibrato.
Could be, yeah. Different types of vibrato probably also.
Yeah.
So it's violin should be a very simple thing. We have these very set ingredients. It's just about how do we combine them to make something very different. So as you continue working on this piece, make sure that you are experimenting with different colors, different bow speeds, different bow pressures, bow distribution, the types of vibrato that you can use. You have everything you need. Now it's just about expanding your vision, expanding your world for this piece, and bringing us into it. Fantastic. Thank you.